Tonight we are recording episode 134 of
No Room for Phonies.
So April, this will be put out in
April 2025.
Yes. And so during April I wanted to talk about small goals and small gains. I don't know what that was. So I had read this book called Just One Thing, How Simple Changes Can Transform Your Life by Dr. Michael Mosley. And he starts out with kind of like 10 sort of the top
10 one things that you can do?
No. This is like sort of the 10 things to keep in mind when you're trying to make changes in your life.
Okay.
Or setting goals.
It's the simple changes that he's
right.
highlighting.
So he says when you're trying to set goals or make changes that you should keep it simple.
Be realistic.
And he talks about creating sort of a trigger. So kind of like when you walk in the door at night, your running shoes are there, so you put them on. Or as soon as dinner's over, you know that you're going to walk.
The next thing.
Yes. So it kind of triggers you to go and do whatever it is.
All my favorite shoes keep ending up in the closet, put away.
Yeah, well, because you pile up 7 pairs by the door. So
I have options.
You can't have 7 triggers, only one. And
the fourth one is know why you're doing it.
And then he says number 5 is stick to it for at least a month, because you can't really tell
if it's going to make a difference
or anything until you've tried it for a month.
Yeah.
And then try to displace bad habits with good habits. So
it's easier to get rid of than to just it's easier to add new habits than to just try and stop old ones.
So, for example, if you watch TV and eat snacks at night, read a book and
eat snacks at night.
And drink water, like replace something, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then try to do it daily. Consistency and frequency are one of the major things to making changes in our lives. And then involve a friend or a loved one, like today. If I had been alone today, I don't know if I would have biked.
No? Oh, I might have because it was so sunny. Finally,
it was nice.
Sun after
I don't know. I might have
days.
Sat outside with a book, but I don't know if I had a bike. But because
good for us, we biked.
Yeah, we did. And
be kind to yourself when you miss the day, when you slip up,
when things happen, right? And then the
beat
final one is to keep a record. And we do record our bike riding and
our walks
and our exercise.
But there are other little things I'm sure that we're going to talk about, small gains that have nothing to do with fitness.
No. Oh yeah, there's lots of them. So he has 30. So we're going to go through all 30. And the first one is exercise, and he calls it intelligent exercise. So that he goes into a lot more detail obviously in the book, but resistance training has become a really big deal, and that's because the research shows that it is a really big deal.
It does a lot for cognition and gut health, bones.
So
joints.
He says to engage in resistance training.
And you've done the next one a lot already, right?
Yeah, I've turned combat. So this is called.
You have?
Yeah.
I've never heard you shout.
Oh, I don't shout.
Well,
it's number 2.
The second one is a cold shower.
But it says it combats stress and bolsters immunity and has an impact on cardiovascular health. It has an anti-inflammatory effect, and it helps with chronic inflammation.
We do not have an ice bathtub thing.
No, you remain in the cold shower long enough to get your breathing under control.
Right.
So no longer really than 1 minute.
Okay.
So it's pretty easy to do.
Well, easier said than done.
Yeah. Well, anyway, so that's number 3.
I grew up having to take cold showers for a few years. So
number 3 is to sing loudly for 5 minutes a day.
Oh, that's cool.
So boosts your mood, reduces your anxiety, relieves chronic pain.
And it boosts your mood to sing and bond. Well, I guess
endocannabinoids.
What's that?
I don't know. Group bonding.
Sounds like cannabis. I don't think he's talking about smoking pot.
It's something that happens in your brain.
In your brain. Okay.
Communication,
so same effect as
healing rituals, collective expressions of emotion, and it really occurs in cultures around the world because it reduces inflammation and stress.
And while you're singing loudly, there's the physicalness of your breathing and your diaphragm movement changes. It reduces inflammation and stress.
Yeah, and it improves your lung function and helps with dementia.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. It lowers blood pressure and muscle tension and feelings of loneliness.
And then the number 4 one that he talks about is meditation. And I still haven't really been able to do that. So he's talking about mindful meditation for 10 minutes a day.
And meditation can help regulate emotion. It helps improve learning and memory, and it helps improve insomnia, fatigue, and depression.
Yeah, and then it reduces anxiety, stress, regulates your blood sugar, which I thought was interesting, changes the area of the brain associated with fear and other strong emotions, and decreases pain perception and improves memory.
Well, I found a guided meditation that I like. I'll share it with you sometime.
So he talks about mindful breathing and just mindful moments that happen like randomly through your day, just shaking up your normal routine and making you kind of realize you have choices about, like, instead of doing things on autopilot.
Okay.
And then he talks about mindfulness in nature where
like
you go outside.
Bathing. Yeah. Well, I mean, not all of us have forests, but go outside and let your mind wander and deal with unexpected memories or trauma that surfaces.
Yeah. So, and then the other thing he recommends, which
it's been too cold and rainy for a long time.
I don't know. It just is an early morning walk within 2 hours of getting up, because it actually improves your sleep, mood, fitness. It cuts your risk of heart disease and diabetes. It exposes you to natural light, and it regulates your hunger, mood, and body temperature.
It reduces SAD, seasonal affective disorder, by releasing serotonin. And basically a 30-minute early morning walk, brisk, and if you can, listen to music with a beat.
So, he's giving 30 things, and he's asking people to choose like a few.
Yeah.
Like you can't really
all 30?
do all 30 because you literally spend your whole day.
Yes.
You'd meditate for 10 minutes, and you go on a 30-minute walk, and then
I don't think you could get to work.
I don't know. Anyway, so
maybe there's 30, so you can kind of introduce 2 or 3 per month, and then maybe by the end.
So you change your meal times. You delay your breakfast, and don't eat within 3 hours of going to bed. And then you extend your overnight fast, so you eat within an 8-hour window. So that means that you're basically fasting for 16 hours a day. So you eat from 11 to 7
p.m. This one you do have to
p.m.
check with your doctor, because intermittent fasting can affect people adversely. If, like me, I tried this and my gallbladder goes into conniptions because it doesn't deal well with the shock of breaking fast.
Interesting.
No.
An 8 a.m. breakfast and a dinner at 6 p.m. equals 14 hours of overnight fasting.
Right. That's a little bit more reasonable.
That's reasonable too.
Mm-hmm.
Drinking a glass of water with every meal, because if you hydrate adequately, you perform better physically, you stay calm, it reduces headaches,
improves long and short-term memory, and it helps you lose weight.
And he says women should have 1.6 liters per day and men should have 2. And he says like 7 bathroom trips a day is not.
It's not a bad thing.
No. And 5 fruits and vegetables.
What does that have to do with water?
Because they're watery.
Oh, okay.
Right?
Yep.
Because that's part of your hydration.
Is eating the watery
like
food.
You eat a handful of grapes.
Okay. You're getting some water too.
Yeah.
I like the next one. Eating bacteria.
And that's another one really where you have to check with your naturopath, because if you have some gut issues like I did,
you couldn't eat it
for a while.
So sauerkraut, kimchi, kefir, and other fermented foods.
And eggs with sauerkraut. So he gives a recipe in the book
That's
for
very
homemade.
similar to that sauerkraut we made, eh?
That is.
It's very. Oh, is it the one we made? Okay.
It is the one we made.
All right.
So it's like It has
There's no eggs in the sauerkraut. That's a meal to have
with it.
because of the protein from
So
the
it's like
eggs.
200 grams of grated beetroot, a kilogram of finely sliced purple cabbage.
Although we used green cabbage, but the beets turned it purple.
Yes. Half a small apple, fennel, coriander, sea salt, and a glass jar with a secure lid. So I'll put this recipe.
Yeah, because you do let it
in the
ferment
show notes.
outside of the fridge for I don't remember how long.
Yes,
and then
it's a while.
Yeah, and then you stir it.
It's 2 weeks, and then you stir
And I
it.
stirred it every other day or every third day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The number 9.
Stand on one leg. Pretend you're a chicken. I mean, a bird.
No, a flamingo.
A flamingo.
Oh, chicken.
Oh no, I guess they're always on 2 feet.
Pretty much.
Except when they're scratching. So raise one leg and use your muscles to help you balance. While brushing teeth, for example, switch legs every 30 seconds or so. And this will improve your balance. And as you age, it'll decrease injury chances and help your posture. Speaking of posture, gotta sit up.
Drink, and then number 10 is to drink coffee.
Yay!
1 to 3 cups per day after you brush your teeth and after you eat.
I can do it after I brush my teeth, but I can't do it after I don't know. I just have
I do
one.
it with my breakfast usually.
Yes.
Sometimes not, but it's interesting. Then number 11 is to take a break a few times a day. Micro breaks actually lower your stress. So mind wandering is a powerful tool in creative thinking. So it improves your mood and your decision making and your mental resilience. So just take a break and let your mind wander a bit.
You can do 2 at once because for your micro break, you could do deep breathing.
Yeah.
Spend a few minutes each day practicing slow, controlled breathing. I like to use a parallelogram where I inhale for 6, and then I hold my breath for 4, and then I exhale for 8, and then I hold my breath for 4, and then that's a parallelogram if you picture it in your mind. It slows heart rate, it lowers blood pressure, it reduces stress levels, it combats anxiety, and reduces pain. And it's a little mini reset button for the brain.
And if you do it for 10 minutes a day and you just kind of focus in on that, then you're almost doing
Your
like
meditation.
the meditation at the same time. And number 13, he says, exercise less but more often. So break your exercise up into bite-sized chunks, perhaps 3 lots of 10 minutes. So you do these little exercise snacks, he calls them, 10 to 15 minutes of an early morning walk, an exercise or a regular bike, running up and down the stairs, squats, walking, meetings or visits. Instead of sitting with your coffee, you can just say to people, let's go for a walk.
At work, I started having walk and talk meetings now
Yeah,
with a few people.
Yeah, it's good.
Yeah.
Number 14 is eccentric exercise. So run downhill, walk briskly down the stairs, or lower weights, stretch and elongate your muscles like yoga, Pilates, because it equals flexibilities, muscle mass, and bone density and strength.
Another thing you can do as a micro break is sit and think yourself stronger. Spend 15 to 20 minutes a day mentally rehearsing a skill or activity you'd like to perfect, thinking or playing a sport. It's motor imagery. And actually, I have taught people how to knit and crochet purely with using their motor imagery in their brains, and then when they pick up the stuff, they're able to
do it. Yeah. Enjoy oily fish. Enjoy a portion of mackerel, salmon, sardines, herring, or anchovies at least twice a week.
I almost bought sardines today.
You should have. Heart health, good for your joints, brain food, reduces depression, fights chronic inflammation.
Mm-hmm. Eat beetroot. 2
to 3 portions,
2
to 3 times a week.
Got it. These kill colon cancer cells. Nitrates in food change to nitrite, which I guess is digestible and better for us. It increases blood flow. It's an aphrodisiac. And it reduces risk of stroke. It's a vasodilator. I actually have beetroot powder that we can put into
I just think I
smoothies.
have to remember to buy beets. I like beets in salad.
Yes.
I like them
Yep.
grated
and I
and
like
put in
them raw.
salad. Like it's all good.
Just don't grate the whole beet and put it in the fridge.
No. Eat an apple unpeeled every day for flavonoids.
This
Because
regulates blood pressure and maintains blood vessel health. Fiber in the skin. It reduces cholesterol and reduces the risk of diabetes, and contains vitamins C and K and copper and potassium.
Yeah, so an apple a day
Does help.
Get some sun 10 to 45 minutes per day because it lifts mood and lowers your blood pressure and improves your immune system. I take vitamin D drops.
Because we're living in a winter climate and we
Yeah.
don't get enough sun.
So it adds to your serotonin. If it's used wisely, it is truly life enhancing.
I wish I could. The next one, take a nap, a 20-minute snooze after lunch before 3 p.m. so that it doesn't throw off your sleep schedule.
Yeah. Get some house plants. No problem in this house. Put 5 fast-growing plants in rooms you are in most often. Aspidistria,
I don't know.
a spider plant, snake plants. They improve memory, productivity, mood. They reduce the indoor air pollution. They reduce sick building syndrome.
It's kind of like a moldy thing. I
Yeah.
think.
English ivy.
Devil's ivy, peace lilies. Oh, interesting. You're not allowed to take lilies into work. Chinese evergreen, aloe vera, and rosemary.
Yeah. So then the next one you'll like, play video games.
Woohoo.
Play a high action game for 30 minutes a day, 5 days a week. So it improves your focus and your ability to multitask.
Which is
Kind of a thing, but improve abstract reasoning and problem solving and spotting details in busy, confusing scenes. It improves your eyesight and your contrast sensitivity.
I don't have a problem with contrast
I don't either. Maybe
sensitivity.
some people do.
Anyway, green spaces. Aim to spend a few hours each week in a green space, enjoying the sights, sounds, and smells, and shift your focus outward and engage with the world. Forest bathing. Have a forest shower. It calms what needs calming and strengthens what needs strengthening, and it really helps our immune system.
So stand up 2 to 3 minutes every hour because it builds muscle strength and bone density. Consider using a stand desk. Use a ping on your phone to remind you. Our watches have get moving on them. Stand and walk when you're on the phone. Stand and walk for meetings. Stand on public transit. So really, idea
when you are taking care of the little kids, you're never sitting long.
not very long. Number 25 is to eat chocolate. Replace sweets with a couple pieces of dark chocolate,
Which we will have as soon as we're done recording our podcast.
Right.
As a reward.
Yes.
Dance. Spend 5 to 10 minutes each day listening to music. It helps balance and brain health, and dance like no one is watching. It releases endorphins, which relieve pain and induce positive feelings. I used to dance all the time when I was staying home with the kids.
Yeah, I do with the little kids.
Yeah.
Yeah. Learn a new skill. Pick something you find enjoyable and challenging and devote 20 to 30 minutes to it each day. Sometimes you do need to do hard things because it actually reduces stress.
Mm-hmm.
It reduces judgmentalism and changes the way you think. The longer you stick at something, the more benefit you'll accumulate over time. And you'll live longer if you push yourself to think like learning a new language.
Right. Enjoy a hot bath, so opposite to cold shower. Soak in a hot tub for 90 minutes before bed. It reduces blood sugar and risk of heart disease, and it helps you fall asleep.
Because it triggers melatonin.
Interesting.
Not really a bath person, but whatever. Read a book for 30 minutes each day, ideally a work of fiction. That's not a problem.
Not a problem.
It's kind of like a whole brain workout.
I like the fact that fiction is a little bit different for the brain than.
Yes, it is. It increases blood flow across the entire brain, and it boosts empathy and interpersonal skills.
Mm-hmm.
It's an escape. It causes a meditative state where we're kind of completely absorbed.
The slight flow, basically.
Because it immerses yourself in story.
And lastly, the 30th one is to count your blessings. The last thing before bed, write down 3 things for which you feel grateful.
Yeah, you have to be open up your perspective, and it's just a healthier habit to have. I remember during COVID, I did like 30 days of gratitude because it was a harder time.
Yeah.
And it really was helpful to every day think of things you're grateful for. So April 30th, we're going to come back and talk more like personally about goal setting and managing life and how to keep moving forward and sort of what are the top 10 ways that kind of each of us do that.
Sounds great. Looking
So
forward
that's
to
how
it.
we're going to do it. So thanks for joining us.
On No Room for Phonies.
And the book is,
Sorry.
the book is Just One Thing, How Simple Changes Can Transform Your Life. And I think out of that list of 30, you could probably adopt 3 or 4
Mm-hmm.
and give them a try and see if it does make a difference.
And if you have a different small one thing that you do, please send us a message or comment on the bottom of the YouTube video.
Yeah. So
or on Spotify.
or on
You can put comments now on Spotify.
yeah, or just on Facebook
or
on
on
things.
Facebook or
Yeah.
on wherever you see posts.
Wherever, or you can send it in on the blog.
Yep.
So, yeah, and we're hoping in the next few months to actually shift our blog to Substack
Mm-hmm.
away from what we currently have, and we're excited about some of the changes that we might be making going forward just to give everything a refresh. So stay tuned, and thanks for joining us again for Small Goals, Small Gains in April, Books Worth Reading, Just One Thing, How Simple Changes Can Transform Your Life by Dr. Michael Mosley.
Good night.